Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. End is near for Paulina, Dirty Bobby exposed and deliverance charge. Days of Our Lives, DOL, spoilers for the week of March 4th to 8th reveal that Paulina Price, Jackie Harry, will make a painful concession to Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall. As Paulina faces a life-hanging health extremity, she'll admit she's not ready to pass down. Abe Carver, James Reynolds, and Lonnie Grant, Sal Stowers, will spend some time soliciting that Paulina will pull through, but they'll still worry. Unless Paulina gets a heart transplant soon, the end could be near. Abe will let Paulina know just how important he loves her, so there'll be some sweet moments despite this sad DOL plot. Lonnie and Chanel DiMera, Raven Bowens, will also lean on each other when Paulina's health takes another terrible turn, so some scary moments are on the way. Thankfully, cautions are frequently just around the corner in Salem, so effects may take unexpectedly positive turn before you know it. Over with Ava Vitale, Tamara Braun, she'll get some new orders from Clyde Weston, James Reed. Days spoilers say Clyde will hand down an awful claim, so Trip Johnson, Lucas Adams, and Wendy Shin, Victoria Grace, could be goners if she doesn't cooperate. Latterly, Ava will give John Black, Drake Hodgson, and Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, updates on Clyde's rearmost demands. There's a good chance this has commodity to do with Clyde's escape plot since he'll indeed move forward with a captivity break soon. As for Trip and Wendy, they'll realize they're dangerously close to running out of air in that tank. Clyde may have the reflections close to raise the stakes and give Ava an incitement to do what she's told. Still, there could be another hiatus since Officer Goldman, Christy St. John, will supposedly be exposed as a dirty Bobby. Harris Michaels, Steve Burton, will be weak after another attempt on his life, but he'll have a consummation about Goldman and manage to rat her out to Rafe Hernandez, Galen Gehring. Since Goldman is putatively the only person who knows where Wendy and Trip are other than Clyde, there'll be trouble if she disappears or refuses to discover their whereabouts without a deal in place. Fortunately, John and Steve are pros when it comes to tracking people down, so they'll work with Ava on a plan to deliver Trip and Wendy anyway. Other days spoilers say Everett Lynch, Blake Barris, will give Julie Williams, Susan Seaforth Hayes, the news about Bobby Stein and open up to her about his true passions for Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein. Everett will also go through a violent remedy session with Marlena, so they'll both stopgap for some kind of Bobby advance. At Lucas Horton's, Brian DeTillo, new safe house, he'll get a couple of callers. Kate Roberts Brady, Lauren Koslow, and Roman Brady, Josh Taylor, will stop by to see how Lucas is settling in, but they'd more be careful and make sure they're not being followed. As Xander Cook, Paul Telfer, continues to be indicted of a crime he didn't commit, Sarah Horton, Lindsay Godfrey, will give him a vim talk when he needs it most. Away, Stefan DiMera, Brandon Barish, will feel like the walls are closing in, so he'll turn to E.J. DiMera, Dan Feuerriegel, for backing and hope that his family can put family first. Over with Brady Black, Eric Martsolf, he'll maintain with Nicole DiMera, Ariane Zucker, to let him speak with Holly Jonas, Ashley Puzimis. Brady will be on a charge to clear Tate Black's, Jamie Martin Mann, name, so he'll stopgap to pry anything out of Holly that might be helpful. Of course, Nicole may not agree to Brady's visit despite his despair. Holly's recovery has to come first, so Nicole could fluently turn Brady down for now. Eric Brady, Greg Vaughn, on the other hand, will surely be allowed a visit with Holly, so he'll be happy to see she's awake and on the mend. Meanwhile, days spoilers say Teresa Donovan, Emily O'Brien, will decide to try a new strategy with Tate's blessing. Sloane Peterson Brady, Jessica Surfedy, will be hired as Tate's new attorney, so look for her to come out swinging with some shocking legal tactics. Eventually, Leo Stark, Greg Rickhart, will attack the part of sitter, so he'll be the surprising person minding for Jude Brady as the week of March 4th to 8th winds down. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Leo will be in charge of Precious Wade, so stay tuned to see if he's up to the challenge. Lamont Archie and Sal Stowers preview the heavy mega-hit headed for Ilani. Lonnie and Eli are back home in Salem. It's been a long time coming, despite that Days of Our Lives return over the summer when they had to deliver Abe from the clutches of Nurse Whitley. It was, we knew, just a temporary reprieve, those suckers were hoping to see the happy, hopefully completely reunited couple by the leaves. That didn't relatively work out, however. Lonnie's release from captivity kept getting pushed back and delayed, which just made this return so much more woeful. When Lamont Archie spoke with Soap Opera Digest, he conceded how bad effects are for Paulina right now. In fact, he says, that's why Alani rushed back to Salem so snappily after Lonnie finished serving her judgment. Days Lonnie hugging Paulina in the sanitarium bed, as Eli leverages Abe and Chanel watches from the door. They knew it was serious, he participated, but I suppose it was a shock for both of them to find out how serious effects were and how snappily effects demanded to be acted upon. After everything the family's been through, that Lonnie and Paulina have been through, this was supposed to be a moment of triumph, joy and reunion. But now they refaced with another extremity, and it's one that could take Paulina down from them all. They refaced with this news that Paulina could pass. It's surely a heavy mega hit, Archie conceded. Anything Eli can do to help Lonnie through this process, of course he's going to do without a mistrustfulness. It sounds like effects are going to be taking a turn for Paulina, and presto. Kayla's stopgap just before in the week that recovery could help may be going out the window. Paulina may need a heart sooner rather than laterally. Days Lonnie and Eli looking down at Paulina in her sanitarium bed, happily holding Lonnie's hand, and that's especially dire if there's not one available in time. We've got our own proposition as to where it might come from, but that's far from a guarantee. Archie conceded to Digest that there's always hope. But at the same time they can't help but worry, because effects can be. As if this family wasn't hit by enough, from Lonnie's imprisonment to Abe's memory loss, now they've to deal with the possibility of losing Paulina. We guess the question now is, did Lonnie and Eli make it back to Salem in time to reconnect with their family, or to say farewell to a cherished member? Chad supports Stephanie over Everett/Bobby drama, exes come back together? Days of Our Lives spoilers and updates tease Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, will support Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, over the Everett Lynch/Bobby Stein, Blake Barris, drama. Chad himself has some guilt issues over the Horton house fire, and so Stephanie would support him as well over that. Might all that drama bring the spouses back together? Days of Our Lives spoilers, dissociative identity complaint, amnesia, or lies? Everett/Bobby is a mess of confusion. Out of 3 opinions or propositions, any of the 3 could fit. He could either have dissociative identity complaint, amnesia, or he's simply a fabricator. Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu, insists it's the third option, while Stephanie is divided between the alternate and the third. And while Everett did talk to Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, she didn't supposedly see anything to suggest so Bobby and Everett can't be alternate personalities. Days of Our Lives spoilers, Chad supports Stephanie over Everett/Bobby drama, exes come back together? Chad and Stephanie could both use some comforting, so it's no surprise that formally again they turn to each other. With the violent drama they've been going through and the violent passions, it would be easy for them to be drawn together. DOL spoilers, Everett Lynch does update Chad DiMera regarding Bobby Stein. Everett, to his credit, does modernize Chad regarding his apparent other identity as Bobby Stein, and he'll swear he remembers nothing about Jada or his life as Bobby. Still, Stephanie didn't suppose that timeframe lined up, since from what she learned from Jada, meaning Bobby was cheating while wedded to Jada with her. It does feel unfeignedly frustrating for Everett, and he seems sincere when he says he remembers nothing of his former life or woman. It's a veritably confusing situation each around, made indeed more confusing when Stephen Nichols, set up Bobby Stein's birth instrument. Jada went for fingerprints, which of course would match, but that may be true indeed if he'd a binary, but the birth instrument was listed as a single birth. Days of Our Lives spoilers, spouses drawn back together. Stephanie is musketeers with Jada now, so she's feeling a whole lot of guilt knowing she was Jada's hubby's doxy. The substantiation is mounting that indeed if he doesn't flash back now, when it was passing, Jada was correct about Bobby being a fabricator and a cheater. Stephanie will turn to Chad for consolation during the week of February 26–March 1st, and he may turn to her over his fire guilt as well. Chad blames himself because he knows Clyde Weston, James Reed, is behind the fire whether he actually said it or not, and he ran that depreciatory composition. It wouldn't be surprising for some temptation to be, since they're still close, as long as Leo Stark, Greg Rickhart, doesn't catch them in bed.